It started as a joke. My sister, Ellie, had been obsessed with those ancestry shows on TV. People crying over grainy photos of great-great-grandparents they'd never met, tracing their roots to some obscure village in Ireland or a dusty farm in Poland. "Come on, Sam," she'd said one night over pizza, her hazel eyes glinting with mischief. "Let's do it. Let's take a DNA test. Maybe we're secretly royalty or something." I'd laughed, shoving a slice of pepperoni into my mouth. Royalty? With Dad's nose? Doubt it. But she'd already ordered the kits from 23andMe, and a week later, they arrived. 2 little boxes with swabs and vials, promising to unlock the mysteries of our past. I didn't think much of it. I was 27, living in a cramped apartment in Seattle, working a dead-end job at a tech startup that paid just enough to keep me in coffee and rent. Ellie was 24, still at home with Mom and Dad in Tacoma, finishing her master's in psychology. We'd always been close, the kind of siblings who could finish each other's sentences, who'd survived Dad's terrible puns and Mom's overcooked casseroles together. The DNA test was just another one of her quirky ideas, like the time she convinced me to try hot yoga or adopt a feral cat that scratched up my couch. I humored her, because that's what big brothers do. The process was simple. Swab your cheek, seal the vial, mail it off. Ellie texted me a week later, buzzing with excitement. Results are in. I'm 42% British, 30% German, and a random splash of Scandinavian. Viking vibes, baby. Your turn. I logged into my account that night, expecting something similar. After all, we were full siblings. Same parents, same gene pool. My results loaded. 38% British, 25% German, 12% Italian, and a bunch of smaller percentages. I smirked at the Italian bit. Maybe that explained my love for pasta. But then I scrolled down to the DNA relatives section, where Ellie's name should have popped up as my closest match. She wasn't there. Instead, there was a woman named Cynthia R., listed as a first cousin, with 12.5% shared DNA. I frowned. We didn't have a cousin Cynthia. Our family was small. Mom's an only child, and Dad's brother never had kids. I clicked around, confused, until I saw the Predicted Relationships tab. It showed Ellie as a half-sibling, sharing only 22% DNA with me. My stomach dropped. Full siblings share around 50%. Half-siblings share half that. The numbers didn't lie, but they didn't make sense either. I called Ellie. "Hey, did you mess with your test or something? Like, send in cat spit instead." I tried to keep my voice light, but it cracked at the edges. "What? No. Why?" she asked, laughing. "Because it says we're half-siblings, and there's some random cousin I've never heard of." Silence. Then, that's weird. Maybe it's a glitch. I'll call customer service tomorrow. But it wasn't a glitch. I spent the next hour Googling DNA percentages, reading forums, my heart pounding harder with every post. Half-sibling results usually mean one parent isn't the same, one user wrote. Check your dad's side. It's usually the mom who hides the affair. I laughed at that, a sharp, bitter sound. Mom. An affair? No way. She was the most predictable person I knew. Church every Sunday, book club on Wednesdays, a woman who'd once grounded me for a month because I lied about finishing my homework. Dad was the wild card, with his loud laugh and stories about his college days. But Mom, she was a rock, or so I'd thought. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I drove the hour to Tacoma, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. Ellie met me at the door, her face pale. "I called them," she said. "They double-checked. It's not a mistake." We sat in the living room, The same room where we'd built forts out of couch cushions as kids and stared at the results on her laptop. Mom was at the grocery store, Dad at his hardware store job. It was just us and the truth, heavy as a storm cloud. "So, what does this mean?" Ellie whispered. "It means one of us isn't Dad's," I said, my voice hoarse. "Or both of us aren't. I don't know." She shook her head. "No, that's crazy. Mom and Dad, they've been together since high school. You've seen the photos. Prom, graduation, that cheesy wedding album with the lace dress. Then why don't our numbers match?" We decided to dig deeper. I messaged Cynthia R. through the 23andMe portal, a generic, "Hi, I'm Sam. Looks like we're cousins. How are we related?" while Ellie scoured our parents' old yearbooks for clues. 2 days later, Cynthia replied, "Hey Sam. Wow, this is cool. My mom's maiden name was Moretti. Italian roots. Does that ring a bell?" Moretti. The Italian in my DNA. Not Ellie's. My chest tightened. This wasn't about Dad. It was about me. I didn't tell Ellie yet. I couldn't. Instead, I started asking Mom casual questions over the next week, fishing for anything that might explain it. "Hey Mom, did we ever have any Italian relatives?" I'd say, stirring my coffee at breakfast. She'd pause, then shrug. "Not that I know of, honey." Why? Her voice was too even, her eyes too quick to dart away. I knew that look. It was the same one she'd given me when I was 10 and asked why she'd been crying in the kitchen late at night. "Just tired," she'd said then. I hadn't believed her then either. The real father, I realized, had to be someone tied to this Moretti family. And Cynthia's message gave me a lead. I searched Moretti Tacoma online and found an obituary from 2018. Maria Moretti, survived by her son, Anthony Moretti. My breath caught. Uncle Tony. Not really an uncle. Dad's best friend since childhood. The guy who'd been at every barbecue, every Christmas. The one who'd taught me how to throw a curveball when I was 12. He'd moved to Portland 5 years ago after his mom died, but he'd been a fixture in our lives growing up. Dark hair, olive skin, a laugh that filled a room. Italian. I felt sick. The pieces were snapping together too fast, too loud. Mom and Tony? It couldn't be. But the DNA said otherwise. I had to know for sure. I told Ellie I was running errands and drove to our old house's attic, where Mom kept boxes of junk she couldn't bear to throw out. The ladder creaked as I climbed up, the air thick with dust and memory. I rifled through photo albums, tax returns, Christmas cards. Nothing. Then, under a stack of faded quilts, I found it. A small wooden box, locked with a tiny clasp. I pried it open with a screwdriver from Dad's toolbox downstairs. Inside were letters, dozens of them, yellowed and creased, tied with a red ribbon. The handwriting was Tony's. I recognized it from the birthday cards he'd sent me as a kid. "My dearest Claire," the first one began. "I can't stop thinking about that night. I know it's wrong, but I've loved you since the day I met you." My hands shook as I read on. Dates matched up. 9 months before I was born. Words like regret and secret, and if John ever found out, burned into my brain. There was a photo too, tucked in the last envelope. Mom and Tony, younger, laughing at some picnic, his arm around her waist. On the back, in her handwriting, Summer 97. Our little secret. I sat there, surrounded by the ghosts of my family, and felt the world I'd known crack open. Mom had cheated. Tony was my father. And Dad, John, the man who'd raised me, who'd cheered at my Little League games and grounded me for sneaking beer at 16, had no idea. Or did he? I confronted Mom that night. Ellie was out with friends. Dad's still at work. I waited in the kitchen, the letters spread across the table like evidence in a trial. When she walked in, arms full of grocery bags, she froze. "Sam, what's all this?" "Sit down," I said, my voice cold. She set the bags down slowly, her eyes flicking to the letters. She knew. "Sam, don't lie to me. I took a DNA test. Dad's not my father. Tony is. These letters prove it." Her face crumpled, but she didn't cry. "Not yet. It's not what you think," she started, her voice trembling. "It was one time. One stupid mistake. Tony and we were drunk. Your dad and I had been fighting and—" "Stop," I snapped. "Don't make excuses. You lied to me, to Dad, to Ellie, for 27 years. I didn't want to hurt you," she whispered. "I love your father. I chose him. Tony wanted me to leave, but I couldn't. I stayed. I built this family." "You built it on a lie," I shouted, slamming my hand on the table. The letters scattered. "Does Dad know?" "No," she said, so quiet I almost didn't hear it. "He doesn't, and he can't. It would destroy him." I laughed, a hollow, ugly sound. "Too late, Mom. It's already destroyed me." She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "Sam, please. I'll do anything. Just don't tell him." I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. My whole life, my name, my face, my memories, felt like a fraud. I grabbed the letters and stormed out, driving aimlessly until my gas light blinked on. I ended up at a bar, downing whiskey until the edges blurred, trying to drown the betrayal clawing at my chest. Ellie called, but I didn't answer. How could I tell her? She'd lose Mom too, maybe Dad, maybe me. We'd all lose everything. The next day I went back. I had to face it, had to figure out what came next. Mom was in the living room, red-eyed, clutching a mug of tea. Ellie was there too, her face a mix of worry and anger. "Where were you?" she demanded. "I've been calling all night." "I found something," I said, dropping the letters on the coffee table. Ellie's eyes widened as she picked one up, scanning the words. Mom didn't move, didn't speak. She just watched us, like a prisoner awaiting a verdict. "Mom." Ellie's voice broke. "Is this true?" Mom nodded, tears spilling over. "I'm so sorry. I never meant for you to find out." Ellie threw the letter down, standing up. "You lied to us. To Dad. How could you?" "I was young," Mom said, her voice cracking. "I was scared. I thought I could bury it, make it go away. I love you both so much." "Stop," I cut in. "Just stop." We stood there, the three of us, a family unraveling in real time. Ellie cried. Mom begged. I felt nothing. Just a cold, empty ache where trust used to be. I didn't know who I was anymore. Sam Carter, son of John and Claire? Or Sam Moretti, bastard child of a secret affair? My identity was a shattered mirror, reflecting pieces I couldn't fit together. And that's when the front door opened. Dad walked in, his work boots thudding on the hardwood, his face tired but smiling. Until he saw us, saw the letters, saw Mom's tears, Ellie's fury, my clenched fists. He stopped, his keys dangling in his hand. "Sam? Ellie? Claire? What's going on?" he asked, his voice steady but laced with something I couldn't name. Fear, maybe, or suspicion. Mom stood, wiping her eyes. "John, it's nothing. Just a fight. We'll—" "No," I said, cutting her off. I looked at him, the man who'd raised me, who'd loved me, who'd never once made me feel like I wasn't his. My throat burned. "Dad, we need to talk." His smile faded, and in that moment, I knew nothing would ever be the same. Stay tuned for part 2.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you'd love to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. See you in the next video.